I gotta get stressed in there, you know, before we start. All of a sudden, everything just started hurting. And now the psychic sweats are gonna start. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. Allow the energy to come in. Woo. See what Spirit's got to say today.
Somebody with my car. So silly.
Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I think I already said that, but I do hope everybody is having a good day. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't resonate, don't worry. It doesn't resonate for everybody all the time. You have to take your turn. Now I feel so cold. And the song Runnin' by Biggie Smalls and Tupac. It was a song that they created, the record label created after they died. It's not a song that they did together, but it's a great song. And I just started hearing it all of a sudden as I started this. And I've recently been listening to it. I don't know why. Like there's always, you know, there's always sometimes like a bigger analogy at hand, you know, something else bigger going on than what meets the eye. So that's why I always say, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because if it doesn't resonate, it just might not resonate, you know, that's okay. So first message, here we go. We have the Sun card and Roof. And Roof in reverse, but like, do I take it in reverse? I'm getting yes. You do take that bitch in reverse. Card laid is a card played. Okay. I almost feel like, because I'm still getting the song in my head. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, did you run away from a roof because you didn't want to be under it anymore? And you would rather run for your life than stay there trying to live when you're dying? Now I'm getting like a cult. There's this movie called Endless, and it's these two kids. They grow up in a cult, and then they get away as adolescents, and then once they get a little bit older, they go back. And like one of the brothers one of the guys doesn't want to go, but the other one's like, let's go back and see if it was really that bad and as bad as we remember it to be. And then when they go back to the cult, they get stuck in this like endless cycles with the sun. It's crazy. It's like shit that, I don't know, it's like an endless portal or something like that. And it has something to do with the sun, because it does in the movie. It has something like the sun just... It's weird because it has to become nighttime. That's why anything that you see with like time continuums and like cycles that keep going on. Do you realize that if it's a cycle that keeps going on and repeating itself, then why is day going to night and night going to day? If it was repeating itself, then wouldn't day just repeat itself, as in wouldn't night just repeat itself? Why are we changing from night to day if the cycles are remaining the same? That's where my head goes, right? Because I don't like somebody just giving me an answer, because for the most part, people are full of shit and they don't really know the answer. So they tell you something to just kind of shut you up, and you go, that doesn't seem right though. And it's really because either they don't want to give you the time to explain what the answer really is, or they truly don't know themselves. So they're either going to bullshit you, or they'll be an adult and say, like, I don't really know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to try to give you an answer, but like, don't think that it's the like 1000% the truth. You know, like, oh, now I'm getting itchy ear. Okay. There's social media. It just fell out all on its own. Hello to everybody in the chat. Okay. There's social media. That just flew out. With on. That's not no, that's on today. So something in your social media got turned on, or something in their social media got turned on, and you were able to see exactly what you ran away from, or exactly what you've been dealing with this whole time. And you're like, I told you, this isn't sunshine and rainbows. Like, we ran away from this for a reason. If we wanted to go back, we never would have left, right? It's like leaving a very, very bad situation. There's creepy. Like a very creepy, bad situation. I'm getting kind of like Amish as well. And as I said that, I got the yes card. So you could be Amish. There's heart and billboard. So you could be advertising things that happen under people's roofs, or you could be advertising what happened under your own roof. Okay, because this kind of creepy shit just stays, you know, if nobody advertises it, how does anybody know about it? Okay, and there's the boat. It's like some people are driven, okay, to make a difference and to advertise, okay? So you might do something and it's advertising sometime what happens under these roofs, or like what happened under your own roof or something like that, where it looks like, it looks really happy. And if you were to look on the outside, you'd go like, that doesn't look like a bad life. Like, I mean, it looks like a nice house. The fucking dad's there. There's a mom there. Like, what's so bad with that? People don't realize, because if they didn't grow up with parents, or, you know, very absent parents, then they get very jealous of other people who have parents. And you're like, just because you can see them, it doesn't mean that they're there, you know, like, I mean, I love the fantasy of people, because you always want to fantasize about what you don't have, but you don't realize that while you're fantasizing about what you don't have, looking at somebody else, it doesn't necessarily mean that what you're looking else in somebody else's life is what you see, right? Because people have a very great tendency to hide, okay, their most greatest shames, and they're never gonna let you in their house to see that shit, okay? So it looks great, but it doesn't mean it is great, okay? There's emotional as fuck. I feel like somebody is very emotional about being under this roof, okay? And sometimes when you're overly emotional about things, you tend to not see clearly. Okay, like for instance, I worked for this company, and they were an awful company. Okay, like they were awful people, awful staff, awful management, awful everything. I went on to Indeed and I wrote a review about them, and it was not a good review. And they had the review deleted. The company called in, said that I was a disgruntled employee, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Take the review down. I don't care. People are going to go and they're going to realize what happens there when they get there. I'm just trying to pre-warn people that maybe you might not want to go there. I mean, we have reviews for a reason. I honestly like to review everything that I buy on Amazon, because I like to read reviews, right? And then go by that with, you know, if the product sucks, then I won't buy it. I'll buy one where the reviews go, yeah, this is a great product. Like, you know how many fucking stupid fish filters I went through until I bought this German-made fish filter for my aquarium that was 1000% guaranteed because it's German and Germans kick ass. They make really good products and you can bring it back like whatever. If it breaks, you can return it. Okay. Full fucking money. And it has been the best filter I've ever had in my life. I paid a little bit more for it. I waited a little longer for it. Best decision of my life. So I like reviews, okay? So the fact that this lady called in and got my review taken down, I don't know how she did it, but she was emotional as fuck about it and I could hear her, okay? So angry that I wrote that review. So I waited about 6 months and then I wrote another one. I went, fine, I'll give you your time, okay? You're gonna lose your staff no matter what I do, but I'm gonna write another one. And I wrote another one. And I can hear, I already saw they tried to call again. I don't know if they got the review taken down. I wasn't as disgruntled as I was before, but I definitely let people know, like, you've got to have a very, very tough exterior to work there. These people are not what you think that they are. They all look very nice. They all look very, until you piss them off, until you cross the edge and they are not professional anymore. Then they become emotional fucks. Like, I don't understand. There's this woman who owns the company and these two women will go to bat for her. And I don't understand that because it's like the woman who owns the company acts like a victim. When she doesn't pay her people properly, she doesn't give proper hours. She's always looking to make herself more rich than everybody else, which, I mean, every boss does, but you have to treat your employees well. Like, she has the manager threatened. She threatens that manager all the time. That manager, when I used to work with her, if she fucked up in any way, she would go, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. Oh my God, I'm going to get fired. It was like working like that every day. Oh my God, I'm going to get fired. Oh my God, I'm going to get fired. We're fucking waitresses. Never in a million years should you ever think when you walk into your work that you might get fired that day because some bitch in the corner doesn't like you. Honestly. And this cook, this emotional as fuck one that gets the reviews taken down because she cries on the phone. She came at me so bad in the kitchen one day, and I knew she was waiting for it. And you know why she came at me? Because I called in sick the week before, and she couldn't go and see her friend. Oh, she had to work because Whitney was sick, okay? And so she got pissed off at me and wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks. This is a fucking 30-year-old woman that has apparently worked there for 10 years, wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks because I called in sick and it rained on her parade. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you are an adult that works in a restaurant. You realize people are going to call in, little girl. Do you know how many times my plans get canceled? I had a plan to get a fucking appointment done. I made this appointment 6 months ago and I had to cancel yesterday because I have to take a work. I have to go to work. Somebody needed me and I don't have a lot of staff. It's a very short contract and I have to do it. Like, I want to do it, you know, or I'm going to fuck my boss and I don't want to do that. I just had to cancel an appointment. You know what I mean? Like, shit happens. Like, but really, honestly, some people, they don't understand, you know, they want to go out on a Friday night with their girlies. And if you try and stop them, they're going to try to get you fired. Okay, fired. And that's where you go like, oh my God, bitch, like, do you want to date me? Is that what this is? Like, is this a pussy war? Do you want to lick my pussy? And I don't want you to. So now you're going to get angry and throw your lesbian vibes at me? The whole fucking place was full of lesbians, okay? I'm not a fucking lesbian. I'm not a carpet muncher. I like the dick. I've said it a million fucking times. There is nobody even drunk that could make me lick fucking pussy, okay? Never have, never fucking will. I am straight as a goddamn line, okay? I am straighter than the lines on the fucking road. I couldn't even think about mowing down on poon. I don't like that. I will never like that. I don't even fantasize about it. I've never even dreamt about it. I don't like pussy, okay? I have one myself. I like my own. I keep it trim. I keep it waxed. I keep it fit. I keep it fucking going to the gym. Okay. I keep my shit under control. And I like that. I don't need another one in my life. Okay. But these bitches think I'm a closet gay. Okay, they really do. So if this happening to me, it's happening to you because it's coming through the reading. It's creepy and we don't like it, okay? Because these people are going to try to say you're a lesbian. Oh, really? You think this is sexual tension between the two of us? No, honey. I don't like you and you want me. Therefore, this is abusive energy, okay? Because you're trying to push your sexual shit on me right now and I don't want it. Just because majority of people are closeted, okay? It doesn't mean that all of us are. And for the people who are hiding in the closet, please get the fuck out because you're making all of us look like we're hiding in the closet behind husbands and kids and acting like we're not lesbians. Okay, so then we all get called fucking dykes. And that's what I'm fucking sick of. Because I'm not a closeted dyke. And you know why people usually talk about it? It's their own sick and twisted fantasies. Do you know how many people say that me and my sister fuck each other? I like the dick. And I'm like, I don't understand that. But then they try to say that I'm just lying. And really, she's not my sister. She's like my secret girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, there's baby pictures of us together. I'm a baby and she's 3. That's our mother who conceived us both. We have birth certificates with the same mother and father on them. Are we not sisters, or is it just some twisted fantasy that you want to go around the town with saying that we munch each other because we're good looking? Honestly, it's so sad. And you know what I think this is you know what's even sadder is I think that this is women. I think this is a group of women going after women. And you know that group, the smiley killers, you know, the smiley killers that are like actually real life people that kill people with smiley face masks on? So my sister and I have been thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure it's a group of women that are out killing idiots, douchebag morons, spreading their shit around, their venereal diseases. I think that they're a group of vigilante women that are trying to somehow do crime and justice a favor. Okay, I really do. Okay, I don't think it's a group of lesbians. I think it's a group of women. 2 totally different things. Again, why is it that somebody thinks that just because you hang out with a girl that you're a lesbian? I mean, because that's what I'm getting. Because if you're a dude and you're hanging out with your brother, they think you're faggots. And that's what they say behind your back. And you know what to me a faggot is? It has nothing to do with being gay. A faggot is somebody who acts like a fucking faggot. They don't listen to the truth. They don't accept the truth. They don't stand up for themselves. They don't stand up for anybody around them. Not only are they a coward, I basically call cowards faggots. Okay? Because I like the word. Honestly, it has nothing to do, like, in my mind, I've never associated with being a faggot to being gay. I've also never really associated being gay to the word happy. So, I mean, again, it's whatever you think are words. If you want to act like people are attacking you by using certain vocabulary, then you're just acting like a victim and you want to be a victim. Okay? People who are being verbally attacked because of their race on the job or under a roof are being verbally attacked, and they're acting like the group of people that aren't really doing it, but are doing it in order to brainwash. Okay, so again, like, you can fly down this fucking road a few different times, but I think what the main analogy is whatever somebody is doing against you, it's honestly really what Spirit just said. It's really flagging their character. And I love the word that they said, flagging, because if they use the word flag, it makes it seem like they're the gay one. Okay, and it would be a gay person who's in the closet who's going to go around pointing to everybody else who's gay. Because isn't that how it works? Right? Isn't that like what we learned in elementary school? Whoever's pointing it out, whoever smelt it, dealt it. Isn't that what they used to say in I like to use elementary school things that we used to say because these people we're dealing with are acting like elementary school people. So it's almost like the analogy will match when they hear it. Okay, whoever smelt it, dealt it. That is how they really feel. Okay, so if they are smelling that you are gay, well, then you're just going to be gay, and they can go around telling everybody because they're right. They didn't get any facts on it. They didn't see you with anybody. They're just the high priestess that everybody wishes to be, that gets insider information from nobody but just their head. And it's like, no wonder psychics get such a bad rap. No wonder mediums get such a bad rap, because we actually channel energy while the fake fucking stupid idiots are acting like they're getting this wonderful message from the universe when really they're getting this downloads from demons on their fucking shoulders that are telling them the worst information about everybody. And they think they get insider information from like divine God. And you're like, honestly, yeah, like he's going to sit around and call you the number one gossiper of the town. He's going to make sure that you get all the insider information so you can exploit people. Yeah, right. Okay. So I don't know, man, whatever this is, it's kind of like, it's a little creepy. Okay. It's a little creepy. And now I'm almost getting Roof like you don't play on the same team as them, you know? And they think you do, which is why it's Roof in reverse. because it's in some fucking sorority house. I didn't join a sorority. I don't want to join a group of lesbians. I never fucking said I wanted to. Get your pussy out of my fucking face. Stop flaunting your tits around me. I don't fucking care. I have my own. I can play with my own. I can flick my own. I don't need to look at somebody else's. Like, this is so like, you know, there's somebody around you who really thinks you want them. Like, you want their body. You want them to teach you about sexuality. They want you to come to them for all the sexual advice. And, you know, my sister actually knew this chick back in the day. And actually, me and the chick's fucking husband used to fucking drink in basements after fucking grunge shows in downtown Oshawa. So my sister knew her and I knew her husband. And while hanging out with this woman, my sister really realized how gay she was and that she was really just hiding behind this relationship, okay, and with this guy, which is why she got pregnant right away, okay? Obviously, that's when you know that the relationship is not supposed to be, because you get pregnant right away. That's lust, that's envy, that's everything that everybody wants, and you don't even know each other. Fuck, give that shit up. That's a fucking pawn, okay? That's a pawn. So when she was hanging out with her, my sister was, you know, she's getting into her later years, okay? Things are changing, and she went to a sex shop. And she talked to a woman about a few things. And this girl, okay, that she knows, okay, her friend, used to work at a sex shop for like, I don't know, 10 years downtown Toronto or some shit like that. So this girl thinks she knows everything about sex. So my sister told her that she had went to a sex shop and talked to a woman about, you know, something. And this girl got so offended. Like, why wouldn't you come to me? I have worked at the condom shack for 20 years, and you wouldn't think to come to me and ask you a question. And my sister kind of like, what the fuck? Like, just because you worked at a sex shop for a while, that means you know everything about pussy? And that's what she was basically saying. Like, I'm a health doctor. Ask me. And she was like, okay, but you're not, and you don't work there anymore, so why would I come to you about anything? Like, okay, my sister's a very private person, okay? And, like, what she was going for and what she was talking to, like, who even was to say that it was about her? Maybe it was her changing cycle with her boyfriend. Maybe it was him that she was worried about, you know? So she didn't want to talk about it. And so shall it be, okay? Your friends, just because they're your so-called friend, they don't get to know everything about you. Oh, you're on antibiotics. What do you have? No, bitch, shut your fucking mouth, okay? Learn what friendship is. If you have a friend out there that's asking you very personal questions and acting like you need to answer them because you're friends with them, that's called abusive. Walk away from them. Okay, learn abuse when you see it. When somebody's forcing you to do something, that's abuse, okay? Because it's not forcing you to become a better person. It's forcing you because they are nosy. Okay, so the fact that this woman did that, and then when she came home and like my sister told me how this chick acted and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, honestly, I'm like, don't fucking hang out with this chick. Like, because for one, I'm pretty sure she wanted to sleep with my sister. I'm pretty sure that there was signs everywhere. She would whip her tits out and fucking act like she was breastfeeding her baby. And like, it was a fucking tit show. It was always a fucking show with these bitches in front of me and my sister. And we'd just be looking at them like, oh my God, we have to go. Like, I'm not going to be a part of some little fucking tit show with these fucking chicks while they're trying to get guys to look at them. I don't need to get guys to look at me. I just need to be me and guys fucking stare and gawk and fucking drool over me, okay? So I don't need to pull my tits out and like talk about my pussy and like all this shit to get people to address that I'm feminine and I'm sexy. Okay, like, I mean, you can say whatever you want about me, whatever you think is like me, okay, or whatever. I know who I am, and I don't really need to explain it, but whatever. You know, everybody is different. Every woman is different. Every feminine is different. Every energy is different. We all think differently. We are not the same. It's just the fact that, you know, who are they to say that you pitch for the same team when you don't even fucking know what it's like to be on that team? Okay, like, you don't even know what it's like to be on that team. Okay, so honestly, it's one of those things where somebody cannot force you to say that you're a part of something when you don't even know how to play that sport. okay? Or you don't even know, you've never worn a jersey, you've never shown up in your life, you've never been to a game. I am not on the same team, okay? So somebody is definitely, it's time to voice it, okay? It's time to make it known. It's time to say something. It's time to, you know, put your boat in the air and move, okay? Because whatever this is, you're not the same, and you deserve to get out of it, because I like whatever this roof is, okay? Hey, Monica. All right, whatever this roof is, take it how it resonates, okay? Because the thing is it could be a sexual team that people think you play for. It could be something that you do that everybody says, or they're trying to label you as something. Like this roof could be a label, okay? It could be a category, okay, that they're trying to shove you in. And I think a lot of it is on social media already. I think you get talked about already. I think people say shit about you. I think you've got a lot of people watching you. I think you've got a lot of admirers watching you, okay? And I think that you might need to, you know, up security, I just heard, okay? Don't give in to people that are saying that they're suicidal. You need to talk to them. You need to talk them off the bridge. There are places that you can call. There are people that can help you, okay? This is not the right place. You need to learn where these people are, okay? Like, again, with that person saying they're suicidal, okay, honestly, you want to walk into a group of people saying you're suicidal when there's a hospital down the road that you can walk into and say that you're suicidal, right? You're just saying it on here because you want us to be interrupted by you. Okay, that's called emotional as fuck. That's being abusive. That's using your emotions. That's being narcissistic to try to get into a room full of people and make yourself the center of attention. That's not what we do here, because guess what? Right now, I'm the fucking center of attention. I'm the one that's releasing the message, not you. So put your shit somewhere else. People need to realize where their energy needs to go. That's all it is, okay? Like, they need to realize, and that's what people are scamming you as well. Okay, yesterday I talked about every time I broke up with this dude back in the day and I would go out on my party nights, okay, which were usually Sunday nights, okay, or Monday nights, he would call me all suicidal because I left him. I didn't want to be with him anymore. And now suddenly he's drinking, he's by himself, he's sleeping alone. And now he wants me to come home. He knows I'm not going to come home unless he tries to kill himself. Okay, so people who want to kill themselves don't go on, okay, asking people and telling people that they're suicidal. People who are suicidal generally just jump off the bridge, okay? So by telling everybody that you're suicidal, it means you want attention, okay? Because if you were truly suicidal, you would be finding it in a safe place, the advice and everything that you need. Okay, so again, I mean, honestly, do you realize that some of these people, with the shit that they say in the live, it lines up with the energy. It lines up with the message somehow. And I always enjoy that, because it's like, you know, I do try to say that the universe is not lazy, okay? When coincidences line up, it's not a coincidence. It's the universe lining shit up with exactly what needs to be said. And these are people that are saying that they're suicidal, okay? And they want help, and they're going to the wrong people to get it. Because they're not suicidal. They're needy. They're needy and they're lonely, okay? And they don't want to be a big girl or a big boy by themselves. So they try to reach out to get other people's attention, okay? So, kind of like, I guess, wrapping up the reading now, I feel like, you know, however way this resonates, take it or don't, you know, but I feel like this was a really good reading in regards to something that's about to happen, and energy is finally going to move on, and advertise things on your social media, put things out there. Okay, there was, you know, I caught my father doing awful things to me in my dreams last night, and spirit caught them, and I was able to wake up and I was able to get out of it. I told him about it today. Obviously, he doesn't respond. He always thinks that I'm trying to stir shit up between him and his wife. I'm like, I'm your daughter. What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with your wife. This is you raping me in my dreams. It has nothing to do with your fucking wife. Shut your fucking wife up. It's about you and I, because I don't see her. I don't see his wife in my dreams. Okay. So these people that try to push you aside, okay, saying you're emotionally as fuck or you can't handle it, start putting it up on social media. Enough is enough. Honestly, you can tell them anything that you want, but also put it up on social media. It's almost like, you know how they have that two-step authorization for like signing into accounts and stuff? Two-step authorization your text message and your emails. Okay. And if you send an email or you send a text message that is fucking putting it down, fucking laying it flat, fucking telling the truth, take a fucking screenshot of that shit and you put it up on your social media. Okay. It is not to start fights. It is not to create drama. It is to protect yourself. I'm sick of people saying that when people are trying to protect themselves, they're causing drama. Okay. It's a word to disassociate people away from you as if you're going to cause drama that they don't want to be a part of. Okay, since when has speaking your truth been about drama? Just because it brings drama to somebody else's door does not mean that you don't get to tell the truth because somebody's going to call you drama because it involves them and it's going to dramatize their life. Well, guess what? Maybe they shouldn't have played the evil villains in the fucking story the way that they did. Because what happens to evil villains? They either die, they're either fucking cremated and fucking, blown up in the air, or they're arrested, okay? Or they're, teleported to another dimension. The bad guy never wins. He might take over for a while. Sure, great, until we get stronger and we beat him out of the fucking park, okay? So, honestly, whatever this is, it's a big message, okay? Because I think it hits high on multiple levels. I don't think it's just as cut and dry as what the message comes out to be. Okay. So, because so much of this is other states and other dimensions, right? That we don't really know all the time of how this is going to, come to the surface, how we're going to see it. Let's see, the stupid building beside me keeps doing construction and then I have to close my window and it's so hot. So now I'm going to have to open up my window again because now the fucking stupid little fucking cutting grass people are done. Oh, God. Ugh. I tattooed my stomach today. Woo-wee. I tattooed Mercury on my stomach. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Back when I was 16 years old, I got a belly button tattoo. And I got home, I told everybody, I told my dad, told my stepmom. And you know what my stepmom did? She went out and got her belly button tattoo. She got her belly button pierced. So at like 35 years old, 40 years old, she went and got her belly button pierced. And I thought it was really weird. Okay. I thought, okay, maybe she's going through like a little midlife crisis or whatever, but who the fuck, gets their belly button pierced at 40? Okay. Like she'd already had kids. Like, I mean, the woman she's not a busted up looking woman or anything, but I'm like, okay, honestly, like belly button piercings are for 16-year-old girls. Okay. Exactly why I got my belly button pierced. Like, what the fuck? I honestly distinctly remember her going out like a month later and getting her fucking belly button pierced. I couldn't believe it. So anyways, I hated the stupid thing. Okay. I'd always got caught on things. So eventually it was always infected. So eventually I just fucking took it out and I never put it back in. And so when I caught my father trying to rape me again last night, I woke up and I got out of the dream really quick, which is weird. And my sister was there. My sister's never there. And my sister was there and Spirit was there. They were waiting for my dad to show up at this place where he rapes me all the time. Because I recognized the bed. I'm like, oh my God, that's the bed that he rapes me on. Oh my God, Randy's coming to rape me. And I started freaking out. And my sister was like, what? He's coming right now? And I'm like, this is like, because all of a sudden, I don't know if you know your dreams, but like all of a sudden we were just in this building, okay, or in this house that had no walls, no floor, no actual structure to it, but we were in a bedroom and then we could leave the house and it was a structure when you looked at it, but it all disappeared. I don't know if you know your dreams, but dream state is really fucking weird. Okay. And like, I was panicking. I was freaking out because any minute my father was about to show up. And then fucking, I was freaking out. Like I was literally like, my sister goes into rage. Okay. And she gets so angry, okay, that it looks like she's going to kill somebody if you get close to her. And I said to her this morning, I go, I got Courtney rage last night. And she's like, you got what? And I go, well, you were in my dreams. I go, and I got Courtney rage. I'm like, I was just about to get raped. Randy was just about to show up. I'm like, but you were there. And I'm like, you're never there. And she's like, what? And I'm like, and the spirit showed up, and then I got up and I went to the bathroom. And when I get up and go to the bathroom, I leave dream state, obviously, right? So I teleport all night when I'm in bed. I astral project, okay? And I'm never in my body because I do so much mission work that usually my temple is left, okay? So in order to come back to my body will signal that I have to go to the bathroom, which brings my soul back into my body. Okay, so then I just basically stay alive because sometimes I'll get attacked. My body will get attacked if my soul is not here. Okay, so long story short, well, it was kind of long, but anyways, I tattooed over my belly button today. Well, it's kind of over top of my belly button, but anyways, it's like right above where the piercing was. And I was wondering why I did it. And I was wondering why I did it today. And then I said to myself, okay, well, now Mercury is tattooed on my skin right above my belly button. So if Randy, my father, ever tries to rape me again in any dimension, Mercury is going to be staring right at him. Mercury is communication. And what's really, really ironic about me choosing Mercury to put there, because they wanted me to put it on my foot yesterday, and I said no. And that's the manipulation, right? Put it on your foot so then you can't put it anywhere else, or put it somewhere on your body so then you can't put it where you really need to put it, right? So I didn't do it last night. I didn't rush to do it because they wanted me to rush to tattoo it, and I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'll do it tomorrow. And then when I decided, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to put it on my belly button. I'm going to do it. I don't care if it turns out crooked. I don't care if I don't fill it in all the way. I don't care what it looks like. It's the fact that it's going to be there. So then I did it, and then suddenly Mercury came in and was like, and Mercury is Gemini energy. Gemini is my sister. Okay, and my name is Whitney, W-H-I-T. That spells witch without the C. My sister's name is Courtney. So in order for me to be the full witch that I am, I need my sister. Okay, my sister is very important to my growth as a witch. Okay, because I can trust everything I do around her because she will never betray me. She will never hurt me. So the fact that anybody even tries to say that she's my lesbian lover or that we, I don't know, do stuff to each other and we're sisters and blah, blah, blah. It desecrates the land that we're on so like with so much acidic, with so much acid that if people talk shit, if only one time about my sister and I, they will never enter our lives again. Ever. And it's been proven. As soon as we find out that the desecration has been there, that something has been said that has mutilated or dehumanized us in any way, never communicate again. And if there is communication, if there is Mercury in there at all, that person will either not respond with a lie, or attack me. Because they know whatever it is that I'm saying is not, whatever I'm saying is the truth, and they cannot get around it. Right? Aw, thanks, girl. I know, it is kind of genius, I'm not going to lie. And I don't know how it happened, and the thing is that I've been getting tattooed for over 20 years of my life. And I don't have anything on my stomach, on my chest, nothing. I have it on my sides, and like the side of my legs. But for the most part, what I notice is all my tattoos are hidden. They're all on the side, or so you can't see them when you full frontal or back, right? Actually, I do have one on my back, but that's it. So I noticed the way that I put my tattoos for 20 years has literally been enabling my monsters to do what they've done. So I now have to start tattooing myself in the front. You know what I mean? Like in the front. So then whoever is messing with me can see. Like, I mean, I get why tattoos are so sacred. Like, I understand why they get done in a traditional sense, because as soon as I put the protective ones, I started putting the protective symbols on me, because I only started tattooing because I was sick of henna and permanent markers, to protect myself. So I thought, fuck it, I'll just start tattooing them on me. Like, I mean, how hard can it be? And like, turns out it's not that hard. It's a little bit difficult, obviously, but if it's just straight edge bullshit, it's pretty much, you know, it's pretty easy, okay? So when I started doing the protective symbols on me, I noticed that I didn't have to wear as much jewelry. I noticed that people were backing away from me. I noticed that my dreams were changing, okay? Oh, so many family curses in this family. Okay, which is why these symbols and shit, these things that I tattoo on myself, it's not because I just want to be decorative. You know, like I actually need these things on me for a reason. Right. And like when you see your tarot readers or anybody, if they've got like earth, air, wind, fire, and they've got, you know, ruin stones and fucking, you know, witch locks and triple goddesses and triple spirals, like they are doing things to try to protect themselves. It's not just about, you know, because people are so superficial. And I found that with women, I mean, they'll just get symbols that they think are sexy or that look pretty or, you know, and it's just like, that's not what that's again, superficial. Like, stop looking at things as fucking superficial. Like, it's not just about your zodiac sign. Like, there's way more to signs and symbols. That's the reason why we have them. Okay, so when I got birthed here, there are so many family curses in my lineage that I've had to try to friggin', at least through the last 2 decades, tried myself very hard to break. And I honestly, apparently, in this town that we live in, people call my sister and I the Doom Crew. And that's not to be used light. The thing is when my sister and I come into a place, we generally destroy the entire area. And we don't mean to do it, but if people are full of shit, they will not be able to make it through our energy. Okay, whether they pass through me or they pass through her, they will pass through both. And we will, if they're not a good person, they will not pass go. They will not collect their money, right? Which is the way that, I mean, that's another reason why people don't like my sister and I being around each other and will constantly say that my sister and I are abusive towards each other or that we stay with each other because there's nothing else that we would rather do and we just want to fuck over people. And like, I mean, anybody can say what they want to say. The reason why my sister and I do live together simply because it's cheaper. And I won't lie, if I could have my own apartment, trust me, I would. Would I hang out with my sister probably every day? No. Okay, because we have jobs, we have lives, surprisingly. Okay, sometimes I'll spend all day not talking to her and she's on the other side of that wall. Okay, we have different lives. We have different people. We have different friends. Okay, we have different jobs. Okay, we're only living together because of fucking the price of apartments. Okay, so call us crazy or call us smart or call us lesbians. I don't really give a fuck because the reason why we live together is pretty simple. Okay, you want to mash it up. You want to make your own thing. Fucking go ahead. And that's the thing is be very careful when you sit around trying to assume that you know somebody's life, even if you don't like them, because the amount of time that you sit around assuming that you know what they're doing, you could just be doing something else with your time for yourself, right? Because if people aren't in your life, don't concentrate on them. If they don't want to be around you, don't think about them. Just give it to the universe and start really putting yourself on high priority. And that's what I really had to like start realizing. Like I tried to help this guy who was homeless recently and I cleaned out this whole area of my apartment so then he could stay. And then he didn't even call me back. He just totally deserted me. And I thought like, wow, I just like, you know, went out of my way to make sure this guy had somewhere to live and he ghosted me. Like I got ghosted by a bum. Okay. And like, it was kind of like, honestly, it was kind of liberating at the same time because I thought, you know, I will do anything for people. Okay. Like I go above and beyond for people. I was willing to let almost a stranger live in my house because he was on the streets and my own father didn't let me live with him. Okay. So I'm like, honestly, I think that sometimes we get put through these tests and it's not about the other person. It's not about, you know, whether or not they stay with you or not. It's literally about whether you're going to say no or not. Because if you do, then you're not sometimes the person that you say you are. And I might have been tested. I might have, you know, I do say I'm a great person. I often give the guy below me food. I often help people in my neighborhood, even though I don't have much, because I know that even though I don't have much, they have less than me. Okay, so I'm like, damn, I'm like the fucking Fresh Prince of this bitch, okay? Like, and it's really sad because I don't have a lot, okay? But I've got more than, right? So it's like, I go out of my way, and honestly, the universe knows what I do. So if I had to be tested again, right? And you know what I was called? You know what spirit called me after I let that guy, I told him that he could move in. I actually gave him keys. He left and said he'd be back the next day. He had to go to work because he works. He just lives in his car. Okay. I actually gave him a set of keys and he didn't take them. And he said he was going to come the next day and get the keys, and he just never showed up, and he never called me, and he never messaged me again. Okay. So while I was waiting 2 days for him to call and wondering God knows what, if he was alive. Okay. And then I had to remember he's a 50-year-old man. Okay. With a fucking full-time job. You know what spirit called me? A patron saint. And then I had to look it up because I had no idea what they were talking about. Okay. But one of my favorite movies is Man on Fire. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Okay. This is all part of the channel, by the way. Okay. I'm talking about this for a reason. Okay. So there's this movie called Man on Fire. And Denzel thinks that he's a very bad man because he's been told to do certain things and he has followed through with those things. Okay. So completely lost, completely beaten, completely left with nobody. Okay. And he's a bodyguard until he gets a job to protect a little girl. Okay. Now I'm getting goosebumps. Okay. He gets a job protecting a little girl and he suddenly wakes up. Okay. He gets out of his depression. Okay. He tries to kill himself with a gun and the bullet doesn't go. And huge sign because he uses the bullet later in the show and it fires. I know, Monica. Trust me, I could be there with you. I'm just trying to keep it together. I didn't even mean to hit the office button by accident, but it's just making me laugh now. So don't cry, okay? There's no need to, okay? I don't know what that means. Pay you. I don't know what that means. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific there, Danny. Anyways, so the little girl, okay, Dakota Fanning. It's Dakota Fanning. She's so cute. Anyways, she gets him this present, and it's a necklace, and it has this little pendulum of St. Jude. Okay. And I remember looking up St. Jude a long time ago, like when I first watched it. But I mean, it's like a 20-year-old movie. So, okay. And I read about St. Jude, and she goes, it's the patron saint of lost souls. And I thought that was very ironic because I went, like, after I hooked up with all that, I was actually homeless. And so when this guy came to me homeless, I don't let somebody just be homeless. Okay. Like you can't just say you're homeless and I'm going to lock the door. Okay. Like I just wouldn't. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm like, I will read it. Okay. I just, that's why I help so many people. I don't let people just run around. Okay. Cause clearly they don't have parents. Cause if they had parents, they wouldn't be running around. And I have parents, but they're not active parents. They're retired parents. They're parents who don't want to be parents anymore. So I'm just stuck in the ghetto. I'm just stuck here. Okay. Until I get my lifeline out, I'm fucking stuck here. And you know, when you're in the ghetto, you ain't getting out until you get a fucking lifeline. Okay. So when I looked up that and I went through all that, and then I actually had somebody homeless, contact me, I went, oh my God, like and I talked to my sister about it the next day because it's her apartment too. And I said, like, honestly, dude, like he's homeless. He's just out there homeless. He's just out there sleeping in his car in a fucking Walmart parking lot. And she's like, well, he's got to move in here. And I'm like, oh my God, you have no idea. I'm like, I said the same thing. I'm like, but I needed to talk to you about it because I can't just let somebody move in here, without letting you know. Okay. And the thing was, we weren't letting him move in. We were just going to let him stay here because instead of living in his car, we weren't going to have a third roommate. Okay. It was just get a couple paychecks ahead and find somewhere to live. Okay. If you want to be Troy Dyer, it might take the entire fucking 90s to get you an apartment. But then I thought, well, maybe the three of us can get an apartment together. Maybe we get a 3-bedroom. Maybe we can rent a fucking house together. This place already cost us $2,000. How much more could a house be? Okay. Honestly, like we can all put in fucking at least $1,000 for rent. Okay. Anyways, going back to everything, then he, doesn't write anything to me, doesn't contact me back. He, obviously doesn't want to live in my crackhead apartment. Okay, so sorry it wasn't clean enough for you or a nice enough corner. Okay, and so never contacted again. And then again, I was like, okay, Man on Fire. Why is Man on Fire coming up? What the fuck? And again, we go through these tests, okay? So like take the analogies when you hear them in your own life when you do. Because I was like, Man on Fire, Man on Fire. And they're like, St. Jude. Who's St. Jude? And I'm like, the patron saint of lost souls? And they were like, look it up. So I get on my phone and I'm like, okay, I had to look up what is a saint? Then I had to look up St. Jude. Oh, no, then I had to look up patron saint, right? Because I didn't know what a patron saint was either. Okay, so I had to look up saint and then patron saint. And then to get St. Jude, I went, oh my God, that's what it was. So I was homeless and, the only person that passed that test was my aunt. And then after my aunt passed the test, she ended up failing because then she kicked us out and we had to move into a motel. Okay, so it's Jude. This test was coming around now to us, okay, of what do you do when somebody shows up at your door and they have nowhere to go? And what's really weird is that I showed up at my father's house with nowhere to go, and he told me I couldn't stay there because his wife doesn't like me. It's going to be an issue if you move in with Cindy. I thought I was going to move in with my father, but apparently I'm moving in with Cindy, and where are you going to be? Okay, he wouldn't even let me live under the roof while I was living in my car. My little tiny convertible PT Cruiser. That's what I was living in with my sister. Okay, but we couldn't live in his 4-story house where he has 4 bedrooms, 4 floors. I would have lived in his garage. But wait, he has to park his wife's car in the garage. So you can't live there. And let's not forget, the house next door that my grandfather owns, he wasn't there because he was in Florida with his wife. So I also could have stayed at my grandfather's house that was open, but no, I had to be homeless. Okay, so honestly, there are so many of us that get put through the ringer and nothing gets done for us. And we are told that we are greedy and we just want things and we're not going to work to fuck our parents over, blah, blah, blah. Those are narcissists. So many of us have to deal with narcissists, okay? And then because we're dealing with narcissists, we have to play it out. And by playing it out, we almost die, okay? But that was the price because they weren't going to let us go there. So unless we trafficked ourselves on the streets and almost died, okay, now we have spirit's attention because our parents were never going to pay attention to us. It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be fucking 80 years old, okay? Your parents still supposed to pay attention to you. I love it that people think, well, I'm older now. My mother doesn't have to pay attention to me anymore. Actually, it's still her job, okay? I love it, though, that parents think that they just don't have to do their job anymore. Right. Idiots, but they're supposed to be full-time husbands and wives. Jerk it, dick. Okay. Anyways, so we'll get put through these lifelong lessons and all this shit. Okay. And if we had to go through something where we were helped, then it'll come a time in the wheel where suddenly we come face to face with somebody that needed the same help that we needed. And we're supposed to let them in. Okay, because there is a room at the inn, just like there was a room in my house. It might have been a corner. I mean, it was a cute little nook, okay? Might be a corner, and it might not be the best, but it's better than sleeping in your fucking car and living on the streets. But if you'd rather that than my trashy little dirt fucking bag fucking apartment isn't gonna be for the entitled. It's for the needy. So he was kind of faking it. Okay, he's kind of faking it. He's just going from place to place to place because he fucked around and didn't get a place in time, acting like a victim, but he's not. He's an arrogant fucking prick, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He walks around like his shit doesn't stink, and he fucking stinks. Okay? So please remember that there could be some kind of lesson that you're about to face, and it's something that you already went through. Okay? But now you're on the other end of the stick. And you have to make sure you pass that test, because if you don't, then you'll simply have to redo something. You might get called back, blah, blah, blah. Okay? You will pass the test when you're ready to pass the test and move forward. Okay, so honestly, whatever this is, I know so many people that watch this channel are patron saints. So many of us are going out of our fucking way to do things for people because we would never let them rot the way that we were. And then they look at us like, ew, you actually think I want your help? And it's like, okay, Honestly, go out there and see how many people help you. Honestly, go out there, ask for help, see how many people help you. Because I can guarantee you, you're going to ask 5 people for help, and maybe one of those people might say hello to you. But to help you, to lend a hand, to open up their door, highly fucking doubtful. Because now all of a sudden they're busy. Okay, their woman's going to get mad. Oh, their kid has to sleep there tonight. Oh, they don't have any clean sheets. Okay, so trust me. I mean, you want to test it out. You want to go out there and see, you know, how many people you can put your burdens on that are going to help you. Go ahead. But this is the moment of time where collective gets tested. And I truly, honestly believe that each and every one of you will pass this test, whatever it is, because you are good people. And if you're not ready, like I said, if you're not ready to pass the test, then you just simply won't. Okay, 54 on the clock. Obviously, this is really divine. Okay, it's lining up with like the world's perfect timing. Okay, so let's not ignore that. And I really feel like if you've been wondering about tattoos and you're like, I don't want to get them, blah, blah, blah. They're offensive or disrespectful in my culture, or blah, blah, blah. Always just remember that you can get them in places that nobody will ever see. And remember, it's more spiritual than you think. Because a lot of people, and put it this way, I dated a lot of guys, okay, who majority had their bodies tattooed, like from head to toe, because they were so uncomfortable with how they looked. I dated a lot of skinny guys, okay? I tend to like the smaller, leaner kind of dudes, okay? And they are always covered from head to toe tattoos. And I'd be like, why? And they'd be like, you know how skinny I am? Look at my legs. Fucking bone legs, fucking bone this, fucking bony here. So they would just cover themselves up. Okay, so think of it this way. Like a lot of tattooing is very spiritual. It really helps people accept what they look like, because it's like beautifying yourself, you know, it's like permanent marker, but not for, being superficial. Okay. And with the signs and the symbols and the protection, I mean, they can do things for you. Like they can work. They can like work as like things that you can hit and get help. Okay. I don't know what that means, but hopefully you don't get too many viruses. All right, what the heck's going on? What else did you say, Danny? Higher. You think that dream you had, Danny, was about my father? What? I mean, I can kind of read your writing, but sometimes I don't fully understand what you're saying. But from the looks of it, what you are saying is that you believe your dream is about my father. I know. I was watching the live and yesterday, and I saw that what you were writing. So you think the witch is my dad? Who's the witch? Because I know, then you predicted that then. Because you said that yesterday, and that happened last night. Honestly, whoever's new to this channel, it's freaky as fuck up in here. 57, 56. I just saw 57, 58 on the clock. Oh my God. We do freaky as fuck things on this channel, okay? We all start to like dream about each other and like help each other. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, then the witch, she's dead. Okay. Well, remember I said that the other day. I was like, I'm pretty fucking sure whoever this witch is, that she's dead. And I mean, I'm pretty sure she is, because I'm pretty sure the witch is my stepmother. Oh, she's been eating my energy while my father's been eating my pussy in nightmares. So, I mean, it goes hand in hand. It's the most vile, abusive, fucking mental nightmares I've ever had in my entire fucking life. Honestly. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the sensory off the chat from now on. Because, like, you guys don't write bad things. I think I can take that off. Because, like, oh, shit is not bad. You know how do they sacrifice children? Yeah, I know. I have a feeling it's my stepmother. I have for a while. She's a witch. Like, she's a witch. You know what's so weird is I had this panic attack back when I was 8 years old, and my stepmother had lied to my father about something, and I went into panic because I don't lie. I went into panic. I kicked my father in the balls, and I yelled that she's a witch. And the thing is that I was trying to say she's a bitch, but, you know, dyslexia, I said witch, and my father tackled me, okay, onto the bed, okay? I was bawling my eyes. It was like probably one of my, like, my very first anxiety attack I ever had was when I was 2 years or 3 years old, and my mother tried to take me somewhere, and after I had been molested. So I had an anxiety attack. I ran to my father to help me. My father did nothing. He just continued to work on his car. My mother took me, and that's when I was abused. So I know what anxiety attacks are, and I know why I have them. I have them because people are manipulating energy around me, and they won't believe me who's telling the truth. They would rather believe somebody lying because it looks better, okay? So I would have these anxiety attacks, and I had an anxiety attack, and she had lied so bad to my father, I got grounded. I wasn't allowed to leave the house. She talked so much shit, okay? That's all my stepmother did. She acted like the victim while she said my sister and I hated her. And my sister and I were just trying to, like, we were little girls. We were just trying to survive. We were just trying to live. We didn't have anything against her. Okay, kids are allowed to hate their parents, because trust me, I hated my mom just as much. I hated the pedophile she was married to just as much. But for some reason, my stepmother had to put herself over top of the pedophile that I hated. She had to put herself on top of everybody to act like I hated her so much that I was trying to kill her. I was trying to get her to leave my father. I was like 6 years old. I didn't even know what any of that meant. I had no idea what hatred was. She said that my sister and I were talking shit about her when we were like 5. We were planning against her. We didn't even know how to plan against somebody. We were thinking about going to do bobs in the water and going and chasing turtles around. We had nothing against her. And honestly, for 30 years, I've had to defend that. Day in and day out, my father says, I just hate his wife. I just hate his wife. I just want him alone. I just want to attack her. When she has been secretly playing this, like, fucking villain behind this curtain, pulling all my dad's puppet strings, getting him to hate his fucking daughters, to the point where he rapes me constantly in my dreams. And my sister now had to sit there and prepare for it. I mean, she gets violated in other ways in her dreams, but she doesn't get raped by my father. My father has had a fucking time of his life fucking over me and my sister for the last 20 years, let me tell you, for pussy. And honestly, it's gotten to the point where I stayed single for so long because I didn't want to be anything like my father. I didn't want to have any type of fucking relationship. I didn't even want to try, because I'm not turning into my father. I'm not turning into my father. I'm not just going to listen to a man because of his dick. I don't want him listening to me because he's fucking married to me. I won't do that. I won't live abusively with a narcissist. Okay, and all I ever did was date narcissists because that's all I grew up with. Right? But yet I'm the narcissist. Are you fucking crazy? Like, I didn't even understand what they were. It was like dealing with my stepmother on a daily basis was like dealing with 2 different people, 3 different people. She would be one person and then another person, and then she was crying, trying to get my father's attention. Like, she was so incredibly abusive that she won't even go to therapy with us. We tried to talk about it. I said, we have to go to therapy. My sister and I demanded that we went to therapy, and she said no. Every time. And my father defended her. Cindy can't handle it. Cindy can't do it. She's already on depression pills. She can't handle talking to you girls. You're going to attack her. Well, isn't that why the therapist's there? How could I attack somebody if they didn't do anything? If she didn't do anything to me my whole life, then how could I attack her? Right? It doesn't make any sense. So don't believe the people, the passive aggressive people that go running away from you, that say that they can't handle what you're going to say. They can handle what you're going to say. They just don't know what they're going to say. Okay, they don't know what the excuse is going to be for just treating people like shit when they had absolutely no reason. They were just having a bad day and wanted to be a bitch. Like, it's all coming around. And it's just hilarious that people actually think, oh, they're not going to get me. Oh, I'll fly right under the radar. I'm better than that. I can get away with it. What, because some stupid fucking man married you, you think you're a genius? Just because my dad's an idiot? My dad has been trying for pussy since he was 14 years old. My mother was his first girlfriend. He chased her around for 7 years until she cheated on him and walked away. Then his second girlfriend, I'm pretty sure my sister, my sister, why does my father want to act like my sister? That's really fucking weird. My father has probably had 3 sexual partners in his whole fucking life. I have had over 50. Okay, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm talking that's called sexual trauma. Okay, my father chases pussy around. Well, I couldn't stop sucking dick. Why? Because I was violated when I was 3 years old, and I was told that that's what a man wants. Blowjobs all the time. I remember gagging on it. I remember throwing up. I remember going, why are you putting something in my mouth? I thought that's where food went. I'm pretty sure I bit it. I'm pretty sure I fucked around with him a few times because I was a child and had no idea what was going on. But please, Cindy, as my stepmother, continue to blame me for not liking you. I'm like, okay, I'm actually dealing with a sexual predator, but I don't like my stepmother. Like, and she won't go to therapy with me. So it's like I tried to fix everything while my father covered everything up. That's how I know how dangerous they are. So it's not even a curse. It's like, I don't know what is attached. That's what I'm trying to figure out is what's attached to Cindy. Because I'm pretty sure my stepmother has a demonic attachment. I think personally it's Lilith, but I think it's changed forms quite a few times. I think sometimes she's Lilith as that provocative, I'm going to steal children. Okay. And then she comes through as like a sex demon where it's just sex with my father and that's it. My father is an idiot. Okay. Like he generally is. Like he has halitosis, like his mouth rots. He doesn't clean his mouth. He doesn't clean his teeth. He doesn't clean his body. He lives and breathes for his wife. Okay. And you can say, you know, you like that or that's smart or, you know, that's what you have to do for women. But I've been in the bar industry my whole life. And I can tell you that is not how you treat women. Okay, it is not. You don't fucking hide things from them. You don't fucking, you know, pay for your beer with cash or she's going to find out. Like the amount of men that I found out that were living in fear, not a marriage, they're living in fear. And women say, well, that's a marriage. Well, that's a marriage. You should be scared of your wife. Why? Why would you want a man to fear you? I thought the man was supposed to be, you know, protecting everybody. Why the fuck are you pissing on all the fucking posts around the fucking house? Like, I thought that was the man's job. So you realize that a lot of women, they do get it wrong, you know, because they get these succubus energies where they feel like they have to take over men, right? Why would a woman want to take over a man if she was in her feminine energy? She wouldn't want to, right? She would want to be wined and dined and, you know, take that robe off and fucking do something. And you know, like a woman is very different when she's a woman. When she's a woman, she knows how to step into her woman energy and not go attacking children. Because a woman, a feminine, would never attack a child. A feminine would listen to a child. She spoke over us. She talked about us. She dehumanized us. She physically took words away from me and lied. That's not a feminine energy. That's a very fucked up masculine, right? And since she's not a masculine, how can she, and she is a feminine, if she wants to address her masculine, how can she reach her high priestess then? If she wants to stay in her masculine, then she's not even touching her feminine energy, which is why she's putting so much energy on her pussy, so much energy on the dick, because there's nothing else to her. She thinks that she could just do it all again with her son's children, that she could just become this amazing grandmother and the universe will just forgive her while she continues to push my sister and I away. She can't make up that by being a grandmother. She's still a stepmother, not a grandmother. She's a stepmother first. She's a grandmother second. She's a wife last. You know, realize your positions as women or as men. You know, like, because so many people will push you out of your position and tell you that that's not your position and you need to be down here. You need to be on your knees. You need to be doing this. This is what women do. And then you completely lose your feminine side because you get caught up in the masculine of what the masculine tells a feminine to do. If a masculine told me what to do, I'm sorry, sit the fuck down, bitch. You tell me to go clean, you fucking clean. Tell me to go do the laundry, you go fucking do the laundry. It's not a sexist thing. Don't fucking put it on a female to do all this shit because it's feminine. Men have feminine energies too, but do they know how to use it properly? Because for the most part, they don't, because they will kick their feminine aside, trying to be all masculine, like masculines are supposed to be masculine and they can never be anything else. So you're just going to be a cunt now? Like, really? You know? See, that, Danny, I don't really understand what you're saying. Like, I mean, because is English not your first language? I don't think it is. God love you. Sometimes your long sentences don't make any sense. And I get it. I mean, I try to type on the lives too, and like you can't see what you typed next. So like if you do a spirit, like, okay, but I kind of understand what you're saying. Did you understand? You have to command that you want to see who that is. What is this entity called? Tell that before you go to sleep. It's play from itself, your father. See, I don't. But what does that mean? It's play from itself, your father, as suit. I don't know what you mean by then. Before you go to before I go to bed, I demand that I ask who the entity is. I'm pretty sure I kind of don't want to do that, to be honest, because like I don't want to summon it before I go to bed. But I don't know. It will. Like, irregardless of anything, the universe knows who these people are taking up. Right? They know whose energy they're using. They know who's hiding in their temples. They know. Spirit knows. Okay? It's just, I'm just trying to figure it out for my, sake of argument or whatever. But quite frankly, whatever is in my stepmother, it's so nasty that she refuses to see that she's the problem and will constantly put myself and my sister on top of the mountain of the problem. Even though my sister and I have not seen her, like I was trying to figure it out the other day. I'm like, I haven't seen her for 4 years, probably. And the only reason why I saw her 4 years ago was because I was moving to Alberta and she decided to come out of the house and come and give us hugs before we left. And we thought we were never coming back. So she has managed to hide from my sister and I physically for over 4 years now. But she's not hiding. She very much knows what she's doing. Her and my father moved into this house over 10 years ago. I've never even seen inside of the house. I have no idea what their house looks like, and I've been homeless. So all that's been documented. Oh, your father moved into a brand new house and didn't even let you move into it when he had 3 bedrooms open. But heaven forbid, that stranger that Cindy knows is gonna come that night that my sister and I are staying in one of those bedrooms, and then she doesn't have a room at the inn for nobody. She always thinks somebody is going to come visit her. Somebody's going to need the bedroom. Well, what if we have company? What if we have company? What if we have company? They can sleep on the fucking ground in the living room. You're just leaving bedrooms open in case you have company, in case somebody needs to stay over. Like, do you hear what that's like? Honestly, people are so superficial. And they make it seem like they're giving you a reason why they're fucking you over, but it's not. It's just an excuse that they're trying to get past through the universe. Okay, when the universe knows they're supposed to help you, but there's a technicality, and technically they can make an excuse as to why they don't want to help you, but then it's just a testimony of their character. All that shit gets written down. Like, all of it does. And I have to believe that, because if I don't, I'm not going to want to do this shit anymore. I'm really not. If I don't see that there's some type of repercussion or karma that hits these people, which I've seen, that's why I believe it, and I wouldn't be able to do this. All right, so all these people get what they deserve. It's just really funny that they keep doing it, and then they keep lying, and these lies that they know they'll never be able to prove, but for some reason, one person is believing, it's all going to get blown up in their face. All of it. So that's why Spirit is like, honestly, oh, fuck no. Are you kidding? She'd call the cops. She wouldn't let us just come up into the house and walk in. She'd lock the door. She took my key away when I was 26 years old. And never gave me a key back to the house ever again. So if we were there, she'd just kick us out. She would throw a temper tantrum. You don't understand this woman. She's so neurotic, and she knows how to fly into overload, and she will fucking lose it. And honestly, 2 bitches together, I'll kill her. I'll end up in jail. I know I will, because she'll attack me, and I'll have no other than to defend myself, because that's all she's ever done is attack me. She makes it seem like I'm the one that's going to hurt her, when I know for a fucking fact she's had to physically hold herself back because she hates me as much as she does. Like, there's no reason for the hate. So the aggression that comes behind it, she just won't let me. She won't let me go into their house. I don't have family that would help me. I know it's crazy, honestly. Like, my father is not my father. He disassociated with me a long time ago. He will not help me. My phone number is blocked. I can't go to his house. He'll call the cops. He doesn't want me around. He's already said he'll call the cops and say I'm harassing him. Like, the shit that she's gotten away with, the thing is I know the bitch for 30 years. I'm not gonna walk up to her house because I'm not that stupid. Unless I had a fucking strategic plan, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be around her. That's the thing. When we were homeless because my sister's ex-husband, oh, I know I need a lawyer, but try to fucking find one of those. When my sister's ex-husband bankrupted her, okay, and took the house, it wasn't really something we were planning on. It was something that he kind of did and forced us out of the house. So we had nowhere to go. And they act like we knew everything and we knew this was coming and we knew what Dan was going to do and blah, blah, blah. Then they took her ex-husband's side, even though they knew that he had bankrupted my sister. They took his side. Like you would not believe how narcissistic these people are. I mean, like, I sometimes I feel like it's a joke. Like, I feel like there's no way that they could be that bad. And then I try to communicate with them again, and it's even worse. And it's only gotten worse and worse and worse. And what sucks about it so bad is I still try to talk to my father. I still try. And it kills me, because I'm like, why are you doing this again? Like, why am I even going to try to reach out? And it's because he's my father. Like, I don't understand how he hates me so much and how he's allowed this to go on for as long as it has. And that's why I'm like, if there are people fucking with you like this, you need to talk about it. You need to put it on your social media, because whatever this is doing, because I finally decided to speak out about her. Okay, like all my whole life growing up, nobody ever wanted to come to my house. Okay, because they wouldn't let us eat. Okay, they wouldn't let us have any fun. So my friends never wanted to come over. My father would force me to have my friends over and say, well, your friend can't sleep over unless they sleep over here. And then my friend would get traumatized because my parents were such fucking sticklers. They wouldn't let us open up the fridge, although we had a fridge full of food. They wouldn't let us eat because we just ate dinner 4 hours before. Oh, you can have an apple. Okay, my sister's friend once ate Cindy's. She used to have these diet pretzels. Okay. And her friend was so hungry. Okay. She was a little bit bigger. And so she ate Cindy's pretzels. Okay. Because they were in the basement. Cindy had her own pretzels. We weren't allowed to touch. Okay. And my father the next day grounded my sister. She goes, why did you go in there? Or he goes, why did you go in there and eat all Cindy's diet pretzels? And my sister goes, okay, it was my friend. She was hungry. You told us we have to have friends over. Well, guess what? You know, friends actually are allowed to eat food at their parents' house. I know that's crazy, but all I did was eat at my friends' houses because their families had open fridges and full of food. And one mom, I hung around with this one girl just because of her mom, because every time I came over, her mom would feed me and just feed me and feed me and feed me. And where my stepmother took the food away and said Whitney was fat. You know why? Whitney had a gut. I had this swollen stomach for years. And you know why? Because I had backed up intestines because I was allergic to dairy. And they called me fat. For years, they called me fat. Suck it in. You're fat. Stop eating. So they took all the food away from me. Found out years later I have Crohn's disease, a massive dairy allergy. I get backed up intestines. Okay, so they were literally judging an 8-year-old when they're the ones who feed me. So how can I be fat? But they just didn't want to take me to a doctor. Because if they had taken me to a doctor, they'd also found out that I had scoliosis. But Whitney, remember, I always tell you guys, there's nothing wrong with Whitney. Okay, her stage 4 scoliosis isn't real because Cindy says it's not. My Crohn's disease doesn't affect me because that's what my father says, and I'm alive, so clearly I'm okay. Okay, I don't have fibromyalgia because that's just a made up thing, right? And also I don't have a heart condition because my heart doesn't stop when I lay on my back. It's just made up. Whitney makes up everything according to my parents. I'm just a big fat old liar. I'm just a 39-year-old liar from Oshawa that just wants to fuck over my parents so bad because I had such a bad childhood. I had a job when I was 13 years old. I've paid my fucking rent since I was 18. Do you think I ever fucking asked for anything? Nope. Maybe just a teensy bit of respect and maybe don't rape me in my dreams. And this one time I was homeless for 4 weeks, you could have just let me stay at your house. It wasn't permanent. Say what the idiot I was going to put in the corner. What did he think that I was going to, I told him I didn't even want to charge him rent. I was like, just fucking get your paychecks and get ahead for a bit. Like, I don't want money from you. I have my rent for next month. He just looked at me. Okay. I wouldn't even charge him rent. All Cindy wants is money from me. She has taken my inheritance. She has stolen things from me. She has lied. Everybody else got $5,000 when they got married, but not my sister. She took $3,500 out of my sister's wedding fund because she wasn't invited. Because my own mother wasn't invited. Like, honestly, the shit that this bitch has done, I mean, it's crazy because my father will just sit there and he's got an excuse for everything Cindy has done. Everything. Like, she hit us, she smacked us, she grounded us, she lied. He's got an excuse for every single thing that Cindy has ever done. And I sit there and I think to myself, like, isn't that what you're supposed to do for your kids? Like, because my cousin's dad became my drug dealer for a while, so I would go over and talk to him all the time, and he would tell me stories about my cousin being absolutely crazy in her young adult years. And it was all in good fun, okay? We weren't making fun of her or anything, but this one time he goes, well, she got arrested when she was 16 years old for punching out a bitch. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, my cousin was so small, but she was feisty. She is still feisty. I wouldn't even fight her. And I'm pretty sure she's smaller than me. And she was like, oh, he was like, I had to go and I had to get her out of jail at 3 a.m. And she was yelling at me and she was throwing shit at me. And, what do you do? Like, it's kids. And, I just had to, and it was so funny. And I thought to myself, like, my father wouldn't have got me out of jail. Like, my father didn't even want to feed me. My father didn't want me to go to a doctor. My father just took everything away from me because his wife didn't want me to have anything. And here's my own cousin's dad bailing her out of jail when she's 16 years old at 3 a.m. And he's talking about it. And he's like, he was proud of her because, like, she did get beat up a little bit. she stood up for herself. And he's like, I know my daughter. And she stood up for herself. And I went, good for you. Like, you're even defending her. And he's like, well, I mean, she told me the story. If I told my father a story, okay, he is going to repeat it to Cindy. And then Cindy's going to say that the story isn't true. It happened for 35 years straight. I say what happens. Randy repeats it to Cindy. Cindy calls me a liar. Randy comes back, and now I'm grounded for lying about something that happened. So you can imagine for 20 years, I became a pathological liar because I didn't know how to tell the truth anymore because every time I told the truth, they told me I was lying. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start lying, and then maybe they'll think it's the truth. No, well, now I get deemed a liar even more because then they caught me in lies. And I'd be like, well, I try to tell you the truth. Well, no, you lied, blah, 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 blah. When you know what this bitch has been doing for 30 fucking years is lying. And that's why it's like, man, exploit it, put it up on social media, put everything you want on social media because you know what? It's freedom of speech. Nobody can say shit to you. They want to fucking bang up the whole fucking small courts. Fucking let them. Don't even show up. Don't even waste your time with that bullshit. Okay? Because you have freedom of speech. If people have fucked you over and they're just narcissistic standing in front of you going, we didn't do anything, go fuck yourself, and you have the scar and the video, post up the video with the scar. Okay, because it's time these assholes, okay, they're bullies. And the only reason why I think Collective has stayed so quiet with these people is because the bullyism. These are people that we trusted. These are people that we loved. So why would we exploit people that we love? I mean, they're clearly bullying us because they love us, right? No. If you love somebody, bully doesn't come anywhere around, okay? Bully would be a toy or a name for a dog, okay? It would not even come up because there would nobody trying to control the situation. When somebody is out of control in their mind, all they try to do is control everybody else around them, because by controlling them, it makes it seem like they have control in themselves when they don't. They're acting out of control by controlling everybody. Nobody needs to be controlled. They need to be supported. They need to be monitored. They don't need to be controlled. They know the rules. Back the fuck off, okay? But some people can't do that. They have to be in control because they're so out of control that the control that they have to induce onto other people is the only thing that keeps them going. Like, I mean, it's like reverse psychology at its finest. I mean, and like we can pull reverse psychology on so many people because of what we've been through with them, and that these people we've known for so long that it's like, really, do you think you're going to get away with that? Like, because I know you're lying. I know that that's not really what you've been through. I know. But then they're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. I'm entitled. I can lie. I can say that this happened. You just have to believe it. And it's like, you really are dealing with very small-minded people, people who believe that their lives are going to constitute as the truth in the long run because of how good they tell the lie. No. Okay, anything that your enemies believe they got away with by hurting you, no. It's just, honestly, it's kind of unfortunate because everybody has their time and they have their mission just like we do. So if they fuck over us, they do something to us, it just means that they get a mark on their fucking test score, you know, but they still got to live their life. So it sucks. You can't just take them out because they're disrespecting everybody. They still have to live out their mission like anybody else. It's just they're not going to get a very good valuation after it all. But they don't just get to die because they're awful people. Okay, I feel like I'm going to do one more reading because all of that was just a reading, okay? I am getting very hot, so just pardon me for 1 second here. Holy moly. All right, last reading. Okay, so we have this little bit of an intricate message here. I kind of feel like, okay. Somebody that you're, you know, that collective is dealing with, okay, they are transcending something, okay? They're definitely, this could actually be you too, because I feel like you're here and I think they're here. Okay, so you are transcending obstacles, okay? Expanding, learning. And the person that you're dealing with right now is watching you, okay? This person, whoever this person is, okay, you miss them, okay? And it's kind of ironic because you're looking the opposite way. So whoever this person is, I think you walked away from them, or they're the ones that walked away from you because you don't seem to be too focused on them. You're kind of focused on moving in the opposite direction. Okay, which is why they're kind of like following you. I think I just heard metaphysically, so they're not actually following you, but they're following along with you. Okay, so if you're posting, or if you're going places, okay, if you're Instagramming, or if you're YouTubing or Facebooking, okay, this person is watching you. They're just taking general liking to what it is you're putting out there. Okay. And this person, like you do miss them. So I feel like you think about them possibly just as much as they think about you, but the only difference is you're not looking them up on social media. They're watching you on social media. Okay. Whatever reason why you're not looking at them, maybe you don't know that they're on social media. Okay. Maybe you don't know what their account is. Maybe you just have no idea because they broke up with you or you walked away. So you're like, why the fuck would I go down that road again? You left me, you walked away. Okay. But the thing is that the only reason why you feel the way, okay, I feel like the only reason why you don't feel this person's energy is because you've been sabotaged and you've been working on that. Okay. And when we get sabotaged, like, like it's 100% like you got to put your fucking work into what you're doing, right? There is no like, I wonder if anybody's checking me out, or I wonder who's looking at my stuff. It's more like, I couldn't care less. I need to get this under control. Okay. Because you want to move into a more positive mindset. And this person who's watching you go through this, okay, they're healing something in their inner child. Obviously, something that happened between you was kind of childish. And it could have been more childish on their part, okay? And they're healing that. I think they could be healing their ability to communicate, okay? Because that could have been the downfall before, right? And that's why this whole, like, abundance is what's putting you together. It's keeping a positive mindset. So it's almost like you've both stayed positively charged about each other. Okay. There wasn't any, oh, I fucking hate him. He's my fucking ex, blah, blah, blah. Like, why would I even think about him? It's always been like, oh, you saw him. Is he good? Or is she good? It is, oh, she got a new job, or, like, it's always been something nice, and it's not made up. It's genuine. And that's why you get this message, because it is genuine. When people it's like fake it till you make it. You act like you're happy for somebody so then you can find out about what they're doing. This person is happy about, remembering you, and then they find out things about you and it makes them even more happy, right? Because sometimes people just can't be together, like it's just things happen and, like circumstances change, and right? Sometimes we have to move away from each other because our mission now is getting more complex. It could be reaching a different level where we need to meet new people, and we are not going to be able to meet and come across those people if we stayed with that person, because it's a completely different crowd. You could have moved, okay, which then allowed you to communicate more with people for your mission. Okay, stuff like that. And clearly you had some sabotage to deal with. Okay, there was definitely some deep sabotage there. So separating from them was also kind of a gift, like if you're dealing with something. I'm getting the song Feathers in my head by Perfect Circle. And if you're dealing with something that is really big, I mean, kind of catastrophic in your life, sometimes, honestly, it's so much better to be single, because to have to worry about somebody else while you're going through something, like you can't be worried about how somebody feels about something or how they're doing when you're like, whole fucking world is falling down, right? It just seems like too much. And that's what they say. Like, if you're not 100%, then you have to make sure that you are, or be addressed when you're not. So then people know when to help you or when to back off. But if you can't really be in a relationship because you're going to be half in, half out, then don't waste people's time, right? Because you're going to get them to fall for you. You're going to get them to love you, and you're not even really trying. Okay. It's not a one-way boat, like that, right? A relationship takes two people, or how many people are in it, right? In order for it to go smoothly, right? And to run properly. So I feel like whoever this person is that's watching you, there's going to be something that happens. I don't know if it's already happened or something that's going to happen soon. And they're going to get some type of almost like epiphany, okay, to suddenly reach out or to suddenly say something to you. They might see you and then they go like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to say something, right? Because it just might be weird if they reach out on social media because you don't know that they're there. I don't know. But yeah, I'm getting the song Feathers by Perfect Circle in my head. And the part that Maynard is singing is, I'm like you, just like you. So this person now is very much like you. And I think they know that. That's why they're following. So like, they're just following your story. Like, I don't know who it is. This could be like some type of, I don't know. I feel like an influencer. So I do feel like it's somebody that is doing the collective, the greater good. And that's what's, you know, that's what they maybe, you know, like about you the most, is that you're a very positive person. Okay. And their positivity could have been more inner child positivity than grounding, actual, we're going to do this and stick to it. Okay. There's karmic relationship. Letting go and loving you. Like there is, I do feel a relationship in the works. And there definitely is some resentment there. There was some triggers there. There's some turmoil there because you were meant to be together. You were meant to go through things together. Okay, so then you address triggers. So then you address turmoil. So then you address resentment and learn to let it go. And if you can't let it go, then you learn these lessons with this person and then you could move on. Okay, there's mirror with self-indulgent. So it kind of seemed like you both were self-indulgent. You both were a little selfish. You're both a little narcissistic. Okay, you put a lot of attention on yourselves while in a relationship. And again, that's why you broke up, because you weren't ready to put, you know, 2 and 2 together and make an actual relationship stand, because you were on that side and he was on this side, or she was on, you know, right? Because you weren't an actual team yet. And maybe you didn't know what a relationship truly was, which is why there was not really any resentment, because, you know, I think it kind of ended before the resentment could start, right? Before it could really get bad, right? There's talking and chasing. So that's the universe definitely knows that there's a chaser here. Okay, there was somebody who was definitely very codependent, and that's the person who's been looking in the mirror. Okay, and the reflection was not good. Okay, because it seemed like exactly how they were treating you was a reflection of how they treated themselves. And they, you know, if somebody treats themselves like shit, do they really expect their mate to treat them better? Like, you treat yourself like shit. I see you treat yourself like shit. How, like, why would I treat you better? Like, I thought you wanted to be treated like shit. When you treat yourself like shit, you give off that energy like you don't care. And giving off the energy like you don't care is not really a good thing, because like you should care about what you look like and your hygiene, and, you know, you should technically care about some of that stuff. Okay, so there could have been somebody that triggered you into taking care of yourself more, or loving yourself more, or putting more focus on yourself, okay, because maybe you were chasing this person around all the time and like not even brushing your hair, okay, because you got to run after the boyfriend. Obviously, you don't have time to, you know, have a shower and get ready. If he's leaving, you have to go. You know, it's kind of something like that maybe. And now that I definitely feel more independence, okay, from kind of, I almost feel the both, right? I don't think the relationship is going to be the way that it was in the past, right? And sometimes we get second chances. And I don't know, like, honestly, I do feel like this is a passionate love affair, but it also could be a friend. All right. I just have to say the analogy, the way that it comes through, because that's the way it comes. It has to come through some way, right? And, there is a little passion, a little love, a little making up, okay? Definitely a text message coming through, some type of email coming through, okay? Or they're just going to walk right up to you, okay? Because it could be like same place, same time. And the thing is, again, I don't think they're following you. There's nothing about this that makes me feel like they're following you. Okay, if their main focus is to meet up with you and to make things right, the universe will make that happen. And if they know that you want it too. Okay, so remember that, you know, have faith have faith in those above, okay? Especially when you get a little thrown behind or you're trying to get somewhere and it seems like you're getting blocked left, right, and center. Sometimes those blocks are to get you on to divine timing. I just threw all the cards into this box. That's crazy. Sometimes it's to give you that divine timing to get you on the right path because you might be too ahead of schedule. And like from the sounds of it, Danny, okay, you're a little fucking ahead of schedule there. You're a little channeling. My little channeling fucking subscribers, awesome witch friend. Okay, like clearly you channeled what that dream before it happened in real life for me. And like it didn't happen in real life, it happened in 5D, but it's whatever is going on in 5D is what's happening in 3D. It's just a different analogy because spirit has to explain it again in a certain way, but they can't just give you all the information because you know, I guess they're not allowed to do that. So they have to kind of like give you hints and like, oh, it could be this, or, you know, try this way or go down this road, or, you know, like spirit does try to get collective on the right track. So. Oh, see, there you go. Oh, you like somebody new? Oh, it's so awful. I know. It really sucks to have to understand like how awful people are because we really want to believe the best in people sometimes and they can just be so bad. And I think that it sucks. I think what sucks the most is not about how bad these people are per se, but sometimes it feels more bad that we know them for so long, right? That like we were part of something for so long and we didn't say anything, right? That's how sometimes it's just, it's not even, I don't even care about even letting go of the person, or it's like I have to remember like what they did to me, like psychologically, like, right? And it's even then you still want to try afterwards because you think like, oh, well, maybe they're just having a bad day, or maybe they don't understand what I said, you know, like maybe they think I'm, you know, I'm exaggerating, but like they really did hurt me. Like people know when they hurt you, they're not dumb. Okay. And it's funny when they act dumb because it's like really like, you know, you were all shits and giggles while you were doing it, but now all of a sudden you want to act like you care. Like usually people only act like they care because all of a sudden they're getting put on display, right? And if they don't look like they care, then they look like they're unalive, and they don't, like, that makes them look even worse sometimes. So anyways, I'm going to peace out. 1:41:20. Nicely done. I'm going to peace out. This was a really long day for me. Oh my God. Oh. So thank you so much for being here. This was kind of like a weird reading today, but not any weirder than any other day. Thanks for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for being here. Peace out to everybody. Great energy. Lots of affirmations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, there you go. Then you made the best decision of your life. All right, people. Namaste, motherfuckers. All right. Have a great one. Have a good one. Love you. See ya. Take care. Peace. And word to your mothers, the good ones.